here, underneath the arms. Okay, a few more times. Just stimulating your glands here. And then turn the palm face up once again. You can let the palm rest on top of your knees, yeah, in a cross-leg position, of course. So I'm just going to show you because I have to lift it a little bit higher. And then, so I don't know if you guys have seen, like sometimes when they have those free like community Qigong classes, you will see like some old people, they'll do this pai da technique. And this is what they're doing by waking up the meridian energy lines. And then when we turn, then after we are done with the center, right, where the fourth finger comes in, just press down with the big thumb. Just press. And take a few breaths here, just feel. Any sensations. And then gently release. Now we are at the top of the palm. So once again, and then when you reach the trapezius muscle once again around here, just use the sponging method like just now. Use the big palm. You can use the fleshy part of your palm. So, and then just grab hold of the muscle. It's quite a big muscle. And then you're just going to squeeze, hold, and then gently release. Once again, squeezing. And then as you exhale, you release. One more time, squeeze. Exhale, gently release. Okay, so I think we are pretty much quite warmed up already. I don't know about you, but I already feel like I'm like a bit perspiring already. I perspire quite easily. Okay, so now we're just going to come into either a kneeling position, or you can stay in a cross-legged seated position, whichever you prefer, doesn't matter. This is slightly more energetic than cross-legged, yeah? But we'll start to warm up with this practice called three-part Taoist breath, which is a practice from the founders of Yin Yoga, Paul and Susie Briley. So fingertips just reach down towards the earth, lengthen the spine. As you inhale, circle the arms towards the sky. As you exhale, circle the palms behind the back. We're going to just broaden the chest and push away towards the side. Inhale, palms flip up. Fingers, little finger, fourth one, third one, second one, big thumb comes in. And then as you exhale, round the spine, push away. Inhale, palms flip up, heart rises, chest lifts. Exhale, fold and melt. So we'll do this 4 more times. Now I'll show you sideways as well. Inhale, arms reach up. We're going to add a little bit more of the spine now. Exhale, remember to change the arm. So if you have a dominant arm, you can try the other side. This is very good for shoulder mobility. You can arch a little bit back, and then as you exhale, push towards the side. Inhale, palms flip up. Fingers one by one, they come in. Exhale, hollow, push away. Inhale, heart rises, chest lifts. Lengthen, moving into extension. So you might feel the collarbones shine up towards the chest. There's a slight arching in your spine. Exhale, fold and melt. 3 more times. Inhale, let the breath be very fluid as you do this. It can be as strenuous or as gentle as you want this practice to be. Exhale, rounding. Inhaling, heart rises, chest lifts. Exhale, fold and melt. 2 more times. Okay, the next 2 times, let your breath guide the movement. So this one is on inhale. And then when you reach the end of your inhale, as you exhale, start to push away. And then as you inhale, come back again. And then as you exhale, once again, push forward. Maybe you feel the belly compressing, rounding the spine. Inhale, create length so the ribs can expand. Exhale, round and surrender. 1 last time. This time, if you want, if you're familiar with the movement, you can close your eyes. You may be moving faster or slower than me, just at your own pace. Let the breath guide the movement. Just feeling how the spine moves, and as you exhale, we'll come into a forward fold in a child's pose. We'll stay for 3 breaths. And then slowly we'll come up into a tabletop position. So I'll move behind a little bit further onto the mat so you can see me. Okay, so now it's helpful if you have the toilet roll with you, okay? And we're gonna put this on the sacrum, which is the last part of the spine. I'm gonna show you where the sacrum is first. So when we come into a kneeling position, it should be here roughly. Behind where you feel the last part. When you move, before you reach your buttocks, right? The last part, which is the bony area, that you can still feel a little bit of your pelvis, that's the sacrum. Yeah, so we're going to put the toilet roll on the sacrum. And then we're just going to start to mobilize the spine. Don't be too worried about the toilet roll. It's just to let us know how much the hip is moving. Yeah, okay. So here we'll move into 5 rounds of cat-cow. Come into tabletop, the shoulders over elbows, over the wrists. Fingers are spread quite wide. And then the knees are just below where the hips are. The toes, you can keep them untucked or tucked under, whichever feels better for you. As you inhale, we're going to arch the spine. Draw an inverted rainbow with your nose and with your tail. As you exhale, round in. Again, inhale, arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, arching. Maybe you add a little bit of shoulders rolling back. Exhale, round. Last 2 times, move with your own breath. See if you can make the movement very fluid and very delicious and enjoyable. Oh, maybe the roll drops off. Last time, at your own pace, inhale, arching. And then exhale, rounding. Okay, and then with the next breath, okay, we're gonna do something fun now. Okay. We're just gonna move sideways now, okay? So keeping the toilet roll on your sacrum, what we're going to do is we're going to start to imagine as if we're drawing a sword from the side. This, with your left arm, we're going to reach towards the right and then draw and peel open the sword up. So it's a little bit of a chest opener twist, but also a diagonal movement. As you exhale, curl in, and then inhale, whip out your sword. Exhale, put it back. 3 more times. Inhale. Try not to lose the toilet roll as you do this. Exhale. Last 2 times. Inhale, whip it out. Maybe you twist more from the thoracic spine. Exhale, come down. 1 last time. Inhale, peel it open. Exhale, round. Okay, and then it slowly palm comes down, and we'll do the other side. Now shift the weight onto your left palm. Right arm reaches out, and as you exhale, we're going to reach towards diagonally the left side, as if you're going to draw a sword out, or maybe you have a pistol or something, you want to draw it out. Inhale, whip it out. Exhale, put it back in. 4 more times. Inhale. Exhale, come in. 3 more times. Moving with the breath, drawing on inhale. Rounding on exhale. Last 2 times. See if you can feel the right ribs. Twist and peel open. Then last time, your shoulder very fluid. Your arms so fluid, and then exhale, slowly release. Okay, now we can slowly remove the block or the toilet roll. And then now we're going to slowly tuck the toes under. And then come into the first downward facing dog of the day. Bend the knees, let the thighs come close towards the belly. And then straighten the knees to any degree. Look between your thighs. Slowly, we're just going to walk the feet forward towards where the palms are. And we're going to stay quite long. You can grab the elbows, just let the weight then go. If there's any pain in this position, you can bend the knees a lot and let the belly rest down like this. Or you can let the knees be straight and then the body just hang. So two options, whichever feels best for you. And then we'll just stay here. If you want more, shift the weight more towards your toes instead of the heels. When you shift the weight forward, you might feel a tugging sensation along the back of your body more. Yeah. Release the jaw, release the neck, let the head be heavy. You can shake your head no. You can nod your head yes. Here, just start to let go of anything that doesn't serve you anymore. Any frustration, any anger, any feelings of being stuck, lost. If there's any sadness, resentment, any disappointment, anything at all that doesn't serve you anymore, let it go, release, so that we can create space for other things to come into your life. Then slowly we're going to release the elbows and then we're going to roll up the spine. Keep a soft bend in the knees. Roll up the spine from your tailbone towards your lumbar spine, your thoracic spine, cervical spine, shoulders, neck, and the head come up at the very end. Then we're just going to roll the shoulder blades back a couple of times. Just releasing any tension in the body. Okay, so now we're in the standing position already. And then before we move into the main flow, let's do a little bit of knee preparation. So we're going to just bring the knees together. I'm going to show you sideways also. And then we're just going to start to circle the knees in one direction. So in Qigong, they often do this because we actually stand for quite long in some positions with the knees slightly bent and there's quite a lot of pressure on the knees. So it's good to just warm up the knees and then in the opposite direction as well, circling them. Okay, and then just bouncing and then we're going to come up into a standing position. Now we're going to come towards the front of the mat here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start in a mountain pose for a couple of breaths first. And then we're going to begin to flow. You can allow the feet to be about hip distance apart. As you inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, we're going to step the right foot back. Right knee comes down. Untuck the back toes. And then the left foot back. And then we're going to come into tabletop first. Walk the palms back. Okay, we're going to come into a kneeling position. So for today's flow, right, the base of the pose is actually this position. Yeah, kneeling position. Okay, so we always return and we come back into this kneeling position. So let the palms be at the side of the body first. As you inhale, we're going to create space along the side body. Remember, breath, movement, shape change is inhalation, is the breath. So here I invite you to begin to start to move the arms first and then inhale. And then as you exhale, fold forward into child's pose. Inhale, press down through the palms, come into tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. One more breath here. With the next breath, knees down, back into tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then with the next breath, again, next cycle, inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, tabletop. Child's pose. One last round. Inhale, rise. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale onto all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Then we'll stay here for 3 breaths. Full inhalation and exhalation in the body. One more breath. Slowly walking the palms back to the kneeling position. Now we're going to add on. So it'll be a little bit more fiery. We'll add a slight opening of the chest in the back bends. So let the fingers, we start always with the kneeling position. Fingers by the sides, about 1 palm distance behind where the feet are. So you might feel a little bit of stretch in the quads. Really press down through the fingers. As you inhale, lift the collarbones. And then just drop the chin back, lion's breath. Exhale, child's pose. Sweep the arms forward. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, straight away, downward facing dog. The next inhale back into tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Again, inhale, sweeping the arms behind the back, press down firmly. Open the chest, lion's breath. Child's pose on exhale. Inhale, press back up, tabletop. Exhalation, downward facing dog. Inhale back to tabletop. And then exhale, child's pose. Last 2 times. Back into arching, press down firmly. Lift, gentle arching, drop the neck, release the jaw, lion's breath. Inhaling back into tabletop. And then downward facing dog. Exhale back, down, tabletop, and then into child's pose. One last round, sweep the arms towards the back where the feet are, press down firmly, inhale, arch. And then coming back into child's pose, press down, tabletop, and then downward facing dog. Exhale, tabletop. Last one. Now we'll stay for 3 breaths in child's pose. And then very slowly, we're going to tuck the toes under, come into downward facing dog, and then we're going to walk the palms towards where the feet are. Very slowly with no rush. You can keep a soft bend in the knees. And I'm going to rise up slowly in the spine. Okay, so that was a very gentle warm up. So now we're going to come into the water salutations that I talked about, which is 小周天 and 大周天, microcosmic orbit and macrocosmic orbit. So it might be a bit complex, but don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to show you first how it begins. So the arms are by the side of the body. As you inhale, arms sweep up. And then they circle around the back as you exhale, the back of the head. Inhale, front of the chest. Exhale, back of where the kidneys are, your shen. Then along the sides of the legs. And then along the insides of the legs, rising up. And then back to the sides. Okay, so I forgot to mention this, very important. So the stance, right, in Qigong is very different from that of yoga. So in yoga, usually we would ask you to stand either with the feet together. So this is a little bit of abduction, which is where the feet are actually narrower than the hip. And this is actually not natural. And for some people, it's actually difficult to do this. But it is part of a pose. It's some kind of training because it's abducting the legs. But in Qigong, the feet are actually hip width or actually a little bit wider than hip width. Then the knees, you can just let them drop a little bit. And the spine, instead of keeping it extremely upright in yoga, the spine is actually very slightly rounded. So this part, you can place one palm on where the sacrum is, just the last part. Remember where the toilet roll was just now? So let your palm, right, just be there. And instead of feeling that slight arch in the last part of your lumbar spine, right, it is instead rounded. So this is what makes the knees a little bit bent when we practice Qigong. And this is why just now we did the knee circles to prepare the knees. And whenever you do this practice, right, it's okay to let the knees bend even more, but make sure you don't have any knee pain or that the knees are a lot further than where the toes are. Then this will strain your legs and the joints a lot. So just stand firm, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to drop the hips a little bit. And this just creates space in the back part of your body for the kidneys to lengthen over here. So there's more space for the qi to flow around here. Yeah. And then the arms, right? How do we do this? You know, are the arms straight? So in yoga, it would be like this. But in Qigong, right, the arms are like very fluid. It's very spacious. And it's very, how would I say, very soft. Yeah. So one way my teacher taught me is just let the palms squeeze close to the body. And then when you let go, when they spring apart, that's where they need to be in space. Yeah, okay, let's try this a few times. So we're going to bring the arms close towards the side body. Squeeze. And then exhale, release. One more time. We're going to squeeze them close to the body. Even the elbows close towards the body. And then release. Yeah, so when they spring apart, you'll feel a little bit of space between the armpits, your elbows and your waist, and also your hips. So this is exactly what your Wu-Qi stance or nothingness stance should be. Yeah, and then the knees, the ankles, and the ankles should roughly be aligned. So it really depends on your anatomy, but usually the knees and your ankles, right, if they are aligned, this is better for your hips as well. Yeah, okay. So we're going to begin with the exercise Xiao Zhou Tian, what we did just now. I will show you a few times facing front and also sideways. So don't worry if you feel like you can't follow. And we will do this at least 5 times before we move on to the next exercise, which is Da Zhou Tian. Okay. So just take a couple of breaths first here in Wu-Ji. If you want, you can place one palm on the belly, one palm on the heart. You can also start to close your eyes if you would like to start to feel this stance. So it might be quite different from any other position you have practiced before. Maybe a little bit foreign, the sensation of tilting in the spine. So the spine is scooping a little bit forward. And we are like rounding the tail forward a little bit. And you might feel the quadricep muscles like working as they keep you in this position. See if you can soften with every exhale. Release any unnecessary tension in the body. Let the body be very spacious and fluid. You are very spacious and fluid. Few more breaths here. Very slowly slide the palms towards your side into your Wu-Ji position. And then gently opening your eyes. So you're going to create space first in the side body for your breath to come in, and then you inhale. So we start by reaching the arms out, and then slowly the inhalation comes. And then at the peak of your inhale, we're going to exhale, reaching, always hands hovering 3 to 4 inches behind your head, never touching. And then on inhale, brushing the front of your chest. Exhale, moving towards the back where your kidneys are. Sliding down along the backs of your thighs, backs of the knees, calves, along the outer edges of your foot. Now coming back along the inside of your legs. And then gently release. So this is one round. We'll do this 4 more times. Inhale. Exhale slowly, back of the head. Inhale, front of the body. Exhale, where the kidneys are. See if you can feel them. Slowly moving down along the back of your thighs, back of the knees, the calves. Can you almost touch them, but not? Edges of your feet, insides of your feet. Rising up as you inhale, coming back towards the center, exhaling. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale along the back of the head. Inhale, front of the body. Exhale back. Kidneys. Backs of the thighs. Knees. Along the sides of your calves. Outer edges of the toes. Wrapping around the inside. Then coming back. The inside. Back to the center. 2 more times. You can close your eyes if you want to, if this helps you feel better into the movement. Exhale is always the back of the head. Inhale is always front of the chest where the lungs are. Can you feel the lungs? And slowly tracing back towards the back of the lungs, the ribs, sliding down along the waist towards your kidneys. Moving further back towards the thighs, backs of the knees, calves, outer edges of your ankles, wrap around the inside. Rising up on inhale, and then gently release. Last time, let your breath simply guide your movement. Let it be very slow and intentional, paying attention to every single movement, every single sensation happening in your body. Can you feel that you are a microcosm? Every cell and being, every fiber. Slowly come back up. You stay for a few breaths in the Wu-Ji. You can gently let the palms be by the side, or let one palm come to the heart, the other palm back to where the Dantian is. Knees still, once again, just slightly bent, making space for the kidneys in the back body, spacious and light. Just observe how you feel. And very gently opening the eyes. Now we'll move to 大周天, which is macrocosmic orbit. It's the beginning is all the same, just the last part when we're rising up is a little bit different. So I will show you once and you can join me. Once again, palms simply by the side in Uzi. And then slowly as the arms rise, we're going to inhale. And then when they reach the top, at the peak of your inhale, slowly transitioning to exhale. Inhale, coming towards the front of where the lungs are. And then as you exhale, coming towards the back, kidneys, sides, backs of the thighs. Wrapping around the front. This time, instead of going to the insides of the legs, we're just going to lift up, drawing it up, and then exhale by the side. And then this is macrocosmic orbit. So let's do this together a couple of times, 4 times together. Inhale. As you exhale, back of the head, the skull, the cervical spine. Inhale, gliding along the ribs towards your lungs, front part of your lungs. And then the back part of your lungs. Exhaling, sliding down along the back sides. Maybe you bend your knees a bit deeper. Long towards your front. And then inhaling, rising up. And then exhale, let the arms come by the side. 3 more times. Inhale. As you exhale, back of the head. Inhale, front of the lungs. Exhale, kidneys. Sliding down, backs along the meridians, along the backs of the legs, knees, calves, along the outer edges of the foot, front, and rising up on inhale, maybe adding a little bit of a back bend. Then exhale, arms by the side. Last 2 times, you can close your eyes if you're already familiar with your movement if you want. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale, front of the chest, the lungs. Exhale, kidneys. Backs along the thighs. Tracing down further around the front of the feet. Almost touching the ground, and then inhale, rising up. Maybe a slight opening of the heart, and then exhale, gently releasing back to Uzi. Last time, at your own pace, let your breath guide the movement. Arms rising, inhaling, collecting all this chi from outside, circulating this inside of you, along the back of the head, the skull, cervical spine, which is your neck, towards the front of the chest, where you feel your lungs, your ribs, your heart. And then tracing the back, your kidneys, your pelvis, your thighs, backs of the knees, your calves, outer edges of your ankles towards the front of the toes. Inhaling, rising up with the strength of your entire body. Arching back, opening the chest. Exhale. We're going to come to Uzi and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. You can always place the palm on the heart and on your dantian once again if you like to connect more deeply with yourself. So whenever we touch ourselves, this is like an additional bit of information from our brain. Very often we are listening and we are learning from the prefrontal cortex, which is our logical side of the brain. Touch, this sensation of touch, right, is very raw and it connects with the emotional side, with the sensing side of the brain. This gives us this extra bit of information, something like muscle memory. A few more breaths here. Okay, and very slowly, if your eyes are closed, gently open them. We're just going to close off this Qigong segment with this last exercise that's called clearing, filling, and sealing. Okay, so coming back to Wuji, I'd like to start to invite you to start to think about anything. So just now we were in dangling position like this, right? And I invited you to let go of anything that doesn't serve you. We're going to come back to that. If there's any other tension that you feel in your body, whether this is mental, this is physical, emotional, spiritual, okay, start to bring it into mind. And then as you do this, when we inhale, just visualize all of these things that no longer serve you, that you wish you could let go of. Fill it to the brim, yeah? And then as you reach the top, let the palms turn face down. And then we're just going to fill it up into the body. Clear it out as you let the palms raise and press down like a pump. Clearing that out of the central channel in your body. Visualizing this very clearly in your mind. And then the second one, we're going to begin to fill. Start to think about and feel, visualize, sense in your mind all the beautiful things, all the wonderful sensations that people, emotions, memories, things that you have planned, ideas that you are looking forward to. Maybe for the rest of today, rest of this week, rest of next week, next month, rest of this year, next 10 years. Fill to the brim with all these things. Let the palms reach above almost the crown of your head. Can you feel? And then as you exhale once again, just like a pump, filling inside your body. Let them move into the space that you already cleared. Feel it. Imagine them moving into your heart space. And then the last one we're going to do is sealing it in. So it's very much like a layer of gloss. Or in Chinese, we have the saying, 画龙点睛, is that final stroke. Or, you know, when you have a painting, you know, oil painting, they have that final layer of gloss or whatever garnish to make it, you know, that intention really lock that in. So we're going to start to visualize all this and start to really feel and believe it will come. It is there. You're going to lock it in. All that you filled is waiting for you. It's already there. Fill to the brim. Seal it with that garnish. And then on the exhale, just paint that beautiful shining gloss over all these wonderful things. And then on exhale, very slowly coming back to Wuji. Few breaths here. Very slowly, if your eyes are closed, you can open them. We're just going to step both feet together and then gently release ourselves from Wuji. Okay, for the last few minutes, because we started the class a little bit late, if you guys are not in a hurry, I'm okay to teach a full-length class. So the last part will just be a few exercises we'll do lying down. I'll show you first. Otherwise, if you lie down, you might not be able to see. So the last one is actually just a spinal release. I want to show you how it looks like first so you can move into it. Okay. So if you have two toilet rolls, right, one will be for your shoulder blades, which is, I want to show you where the shoulder blades are. Okay, so start to feel, okay, start to use your hand to measure, to touch your own ribs. Can you feel where your ribs are? Yeah, the last part of where your ribs. And we actually breathe, right? Not just from the front body, but also the side body and the back body. And the studies have shown that people with coronavirus, right? Actually, it's just a representative of people in general. We're not so good at breathing from the back body. So what I want you guys to do today, right, as we do this and we open the chest, right, I want you to focus on breathing from the back part of the body here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the toilet roll. Can you feel where your shoulder blades are? They're roughly around here. These two wings here, these two bones. We're going to place the toilet roll, right, on where this is. This is where the first roll will be. And then the second roll will be for your neck. And you can try it without the roll for your neck as well if you want the head to drop back a little bit. But I suggest to use it with the roll first. So I'm going to show you, and then after you had a look, you can feel free to move into it. Okay, so just placing the two rolls, roughly estimate, okay, this one is for your head. The second roll is about like also one roll's distance or a little bit further away. Start to come lying down with the knees bent. Feet roughly about palm's distance or a little bit further, depends on the length of your legs. Start to come onto your elbows first. Okay, and then just adjust the roll so you can feel is where your shoulder blades are. So it's not at your waist here, like this, and it's jabbing your waist, it's at the shoulder blades. Yeah? Okay. And then the other roll is for your neck. Now we're just going to stay here and let the shoulders drop. Here in this position, you should still feel the back of your lungs. So it's actually more closer towards like the back, the tips of your shoulders almost, but it's in between, but not yet at your neck. So the neck is free. Your lumbar spine here, which is where you feel the arch, you can see my other hand can pass through completely, is also free. And here there are many options. Stay here like this with the knees bent, and then gently close your eyes. Or if you want more, straighten the legs. If you want even more, you can also drop the arms back, hold the arms like this, whatever feels good. And then feel free to move into it. Yeah? And then so you can start to move into this variation, whatever variation, great. I see you guys are moving towards that already. Okay. So it should be relatively comfortable. Yeah, you might feel a bit vulnerable in this position because what's happening is it's allowing your chest to open. It's accentuating the lordosis, which is the arching in your lumbar spine. So if you're curious about this, you might also want to use your hand to start to touch your spine, which is around your waist, the last part, the 12 vertebrae in your lumbar spine. Yeah, so it's allowing that arch back. So usually we are like this in a rounded position when we sit for a long time at the desk, or just sitting in a chair for a long position. And this is quite a nice way to release tension in the shoulders, to broaden the collarbones, release any tension in the pectoralis muscle, which is around the front, near where the breast is. And then the second, right, toilet roll you might feel is behind your head, right, supporting the curve in your neck. So if you want to, you can also experiment with removing the block or the toilet roll, which is for your head. So that will let your neck fall backwards. Yeah. So you can try that if you like it. And if there's no pain or sudden strain on your neck, you can feel free to move into that. Some of the people I teach in the classes, they really enjoy that as well, because very often also our neck is like in a forward position. What this does is just allows the neck to move backwards. Yeah. You can also feel free to remove the toilet roll for the head and then place it back later if it gets too strong. So here in this position, visualize the lungs. So the beginning of the class, I told you to start to think about the lungs, that it begins at the back of where your collarbones are, all the way until the bottom part of your ribs. Can you imagine such a big surface area in our body? And even in the back body, can you feel the space just a little bit further down from where the toilet roll is between your shoulder blades? Underneath that area, the space between that, the rib cage and where your mat is, your lungs are still there. Visualize with every inhale, you're breathing in into the bronchioles that are there. And then as you exhale, they also release air from those areas. And then start to notice any sensations that might be arising in your body. If there is any struggle, if there is any comfort, what is it that you are feeling in your body? What are the thoughts, if there are any, that start to come to mind as you are in this position? If you have your arms overhead, start to bring them by the side of your body. Come onto your forearms first. Press up. Move the blocks away or the toilet rolls away. And then lie back down on your back. So slowly we're going to move into Savasana, which is final resting pose. So in Savasana, you can continue to feel free to lie with your knees bent, pointing up towards the sky. If you want to straighten them out, feel free to do so. So know that this is your space. It is your body. Practice your yoga. Feel free to move into any shape that will make you feel balanced and ready for rest. Honoring your body. And today also, if you would like, I would like to invite you as an additional option. You can turn around and lie on your belly. If you are lying on your belly, you can let the chin turn so that your cheek lies on one side and you look towards one side. So it's more comfortable for your face. If you are lying on your belly, release any tension in your legs. Make sure this is a comfortable position for you. So whatever position you are in, start to soften from the edges of your body, your toes, all of them. Arches of your feet, ankles, knees. If it feels good, you can give them a gentle rocking, shaking motion. Let go of any other tension that might be in the body. And then just let the rocking taper away, gently come to a still. Let your hips be heavy and supported by gravity, the sense of force that's drawing us to the earth, the core of the earth. Feeling that support. Let the three curves of your spine, from your tailbone, your sacrum, all the way towards where your secondary curve is, which is your lumbar spine, where you feel your waist, the most narrow part of your spine, rising up towards your thoracic spine, which is where you feel your lungs. And the rib cage, all of them, wrapping your lungs, your heart, towards the shoulders, the attachments, the arms, elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the palms, the fingers, all of them. As you exhale, let them go. Rising back from the fingers along your arms towards your neck. This is the first secondary curve in the body. So the primary curve in the body is the thoracic spine, where you feel the ribs. And the first secondary curve, which is formed, is the neck. And this is when we were born from the mother's womb, that last moment when we are inching head out. This is when the neck forms. See if you can, as you exhale, let go of any tension. On exhale, release the neck. And the jaw, where you feel the mouth. Very often we store a lot of tension here in the jaw. On exhale, just let it hang loose. Let the tongue lay in the cavity of your mouth. Let the lips be very tender and soft. Let the nose simply observe your inhale and exhalation. And your eyes rest. Your mind lay to rest. See if you can feel the sensation of your skin. In this border 3 to 4 inches away from your skin that we were tracing in microcosmic and macrocosmic orbit. Can you feel the force field that is you, your microcosmic orbit, interacting with the macrocosmic orbit around you, and also the other microcosmic orbits of other people? Whenever we come into contact with them, there is always this exchange of energy, this interaction that is happening. Just being aware of this. Feel free to stay as long as you would like in your savasana. If you're not in a rush to move, and you don't have anything that you need to immediately rush to after this, it would be best to stay longer for at least 5 minutes, maybe even 10, 15 minutes, just enjoying this sensation. If you do need to leave, you can very slowly start to wriggle the toes, the fingers, and come up to a seated position. If not, I will leave you here in Savasana. Please stay as long as you would like. Let this state of restfulness bring this with you for the rest of this evening, rest of this weekend, rest of next week, next month, this year, rest of your life. Rest well, take care. Namaste.